This is Join Us in France, episode 54. Bonjour, I'm Annie, and today we'll talk to Jean-Fran&ccedil of France Prestige Tours. He is a local tour guide from Provence and the Riviera who is going to tell us about magical Provence, but more specifically about Lavender and then about some hidden hilltop villages. Some of these places I've not been to myself, so my must-visit list keeps growing, and I'm going to need a lot more vacation. And possibly so will you, I have to warn you. You can book a tour with Jean-François by going to his website, provencesightseeing.fr. And if you want to see glowing reviews of Jean-François' work, go to TripAdvisor and look up France Prestige Tours Antibes. Now, if some of the names we mentioned go by too fast, go to joinusinfrance.com/54, where you'll find links, show notes, and where you can also see all the names spelled out. And while you're there, I'd love a comment how you like the new show format, such as the one I got from Sam last week. She says, I just finished listening to this podcast and really enjoyed hearing something different about Paris. Jessica made it sound fun and informative. I will be checking out her Facebook page to see what other tours she does. Enjoying all the podcasts and looking forward to hearing from more of your special guests. Well, thank you so much, Sam. That was very nice. Now, you know how some people are really comfortable in their own skin? Well, that's the impression I got talking to Jean-François. So let's see if you get the same impression. Well, Jean-François, hello. How nice to talk to you.
Hello, Annie. Very nice to talk to you too. Hello, everybody.
How are you?
Very well, very well.
Good.
Though it's a bit cloudy here in the south of France, but we had snow yesterday, which is very rare.
How much did you get?
A few inches, not so much.
Not so much, huh? We got. It's snowing right now in Toulouse.
Really?
We have about 12 centimeters.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. The whole city is at a standstill. They turned off the buses. Everything is, it's all. And actually, I have to tell a kind of a funny story. I realized last week that the audio, especially my side of the audio, was not very good. And so I ordered a new headset to record the podcast with.
Great.
And I got the headset sent through Amazon Prime. So it was Chronopost, it's the fast French delivery service. Well, this is something about France that's really, really annoying to me. The Chronopost delivery person didn't even come to my house. He just took it directly to a place, a depository kind of place.
We all know this feeling in France.
It's awful. It's awful. And so that place, he took it on Friday night. I didn't get notified until Saturday late, and by then it was too late. Monday it was closed because it's a small shop. This morning when I woke up, I saw the snow, but I thought, well, I can walk to that shop. It's like a couple kilometers away. It'll be a nice brisk walk, whatever. And I go over there, and the guy isn't there because of the snow. He didn't open his shop.
Being French, I'm laughing because it's so true.
I mean, this is France, folks. You have to understand the things we have to put up with. It didn't even occur to me that maybe he wouldn't open, So I get there.
Well, Annie, this is the south of France.
I know. So this is a little commercial plaza, right? And there were two. The pharmacy was open and the veterinarian was open. And since I know her well, and I was walking with my two dogs anyway, we went in there and we dried up for a few minutes. We chit-chatted with her until she had some customers coming in, and then we left again. But I was so disappointed. I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't even think to call before I went. So anyway, today as a result, I'm still recording with my pretty bad little headset, so I do apologize. All right, well, the topic of today's show is Provence, and especially the lavender fields and hidden villages in Provence. Mm-hmm. So why to begin with, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and the kind of work you do, where you work, that sort of thing?
Okay, so my name is Jean-François. I know it's hard to pronounce for most English speakers as they go Jean-François or whatever.
Oh, that's true.
So when I meet my guests, I say, just call me Jeff.
That's right. That's a good one, Jeff. Yep.
And most of my friends call me Jeff anyway.
There you go.
I was born and grew up in Provence, more precisely in Toulon, which is in le Var. And Toulon is the second biggest navy harbor in France, after Brest in Normandy, Bretagne.
Yep.
So I grew up there. And so I can say I'm a real Provençal.
That's right. That's right.
Because many people who live in Provence are not from Provence.
Actually, most of them are not, right? I mean,
most of them, yes. And I've been a tour guide for about 10 years. So I started my own company, and I create all of my tours. And of course, I drive and tour my guests all over the French Riviera and Provence.
What's the name of your company?
France Prestige Tours.
Okay, very good.
So basically it's the French Riviera and Provence. Though I do offer other parts of France, but it's more tailor-made packages, like the Loire Valley, like Normandy, like Corsica, but basically it's French Riviera and Provence.
Yeah, Corsica, that's kind of interesting because I hadn't heard of people doing tours in Corsica, so that's pretty cool.
I think I'm the only one.
Oh, well.
Actually, because my mother was from Corsica, so I've got Corsican blood.
So that's why you know the place.
I know the place very well.
That's great. That's
very well, very well. And now I live in Vence, which is, as most people may know, the city of Henri Matisse.
That's right. I had forgotten that.
Yeah, the famous artist who lived here for many years, and he painted a chapel in Vence called the Chapelle Matisse. And it's a museum. We can visit this place.
So is Vence, by Vence you mean Saint-Paul-de-Vence or?
Two different cities.
Two different cities, okay.
Yeah, Saint-Paul-de-Vence is down the road from me.
Okay.
It's a village, very famous for art.
Yes.
And about 5 minutes above, it's Vence only, V-E-N-C-E.
Yes.
It's a bigger town, but still medieval with ramparts. You said that? Ramparts?
Yes,
a wall surrounding the old city.
Yeah.
But there are two different towns.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad I asked the question, see?
So, I'd like to make a difference between the French Riviera, the Côte d'Azur, and Provence.
Oh, yeah, it's very different.
It's very different. In France, we have different regions.
Yeah.
Here, in the southeast of France, touching Italy, at the border of Italy, it's called Provence-Alpes-Côte d'Azur. It's a big region, administrative region.
Yes.
In this region, we have Côte d'Azur, the French Riviera, and Provence.
Right.
And the geography is different.
Right.
So the Côte d'Azur, the French Riviera, goes from the border of Italy, let's say Menton, till more or less Toulon.
Okay.
And then from Toulon till beginning of the Alps, north, and beginning of Languedoc, west, is real Provence.
Okay.
Most of my guests make a mistake. They think Provence and the French Riviera are the same.
Right.
But yeah, I think differences.
Right. I think that's the typical, idea that English-speaking people have. I think it's a very French thing that we separate la Côte d'Azur et la Provence. It's not the same. It's not the same traditions, really. It's not the same culture. It's
not the same language. I mean, the local dialect.
The local dialects are different, huh?
Yes, we have the Provençal language.
Yeah.
Coming from Languedoc, Languedoc, And for example, there is the Niçois, Nice dialect, the Nissart, coming from the mountains from Italy.
Oh, so it's closer to Italian.
Yes, because Nice was Italian until 1860. So it was Italian language, became the Nissart, but that's only local dialect.
Right. Yeah, nowadays everybody speaks French, so it's okay.
Yes, absolutely. Only
And,
old local people would speak local language.
Yeah,
Only.
And also there's a fair amount of English spoken, right, in those areas. I mean,
yes.
yeah.
When we are in the Luberon part, I will tell you more about those colonies.
Oh, you have your English colonies too, huh?
Yes, we are. We have.
Very good. Very good.
Sorry for our English friends.
We love them.
Yes.
So,
most of my tours, I would say, are on the French Riviera, on the Côte d'Azur. So it could be for one day. Typically, passengers of cruises, they would stop in one of our ports in Cannes or Antibes or Saint-Tropez or Nice or Villefranche or Monaco. So they would hire me only for a day.
Also Marseille, I suppose.
Yes, I also go to Marseille to pick cruise passengers. So typically for one day, it's of course very short, but still we have a nice tour. I've got about 15 tours on my website, so they pick from that.
And you pick them up at the cruise ship?
Yeah, pick them up at the cruise ship. It's around 8:30 a.m. And back to the boat around 5 p.m.
Yeah, depending on when the ship departs.
Yes, of course, they don't want to miss the boat.
How do you make sure you're on time? Because, I mean, the traffic in the summer can get really bad.
Let me give you an example. When I pick people in Marseille from Vence, it's about 2 hours drive.
Right.
So I wake up 5 in the morning.
Okay.
So I'm sure I'm there.
Right. But how do you make sure that you get them back to the ship before the ship departs?
Because I know all the roads. I look at my watch, and
you probably know the traffic patterns.
Yes, and I never missed a boat so far.
Oh, good for you. This is important because, I love cruises. We hadn't discussed this before, but I go on cruises as often as I can. And that's always a concern, you want to go explore, but I never want to go too far because...
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
Some of my guests are so stressed sometimes. Yeah. Like from 3 p.m., they say, Jeff, are we on time? Jeff, are we on time? Say, relax, we still have time for one more village. And then we go straight to the port. Don't worry. But some people can't help it.
That's right.
So the other type of tours is when people come for several days, let's say for a week. So they can hire me for 2 or 3 days, or a whole weekend, or a whole week.
Wow.
That's the very best. Of course, it's another budget. It's more expensive, but every year I spend a whole week with, typically it would be a couple.
Just a couple.
Just a couple or 2 couples, friends. Or a family with kids. And knowing that most of my guests come from America, I would say, I don't know, 70% maybe.
Right.
So
how many people can you take on in your van maximum?
7. It's
okay.
It's an 8-seater van. So above 7 guests, I rent a bigger van, 9-seater. And above that, I must hire a minibus with a driver.
Okay.
Because in France, we cannot drive over 9-seater without a driving license.
That's right. You have to have a special driver's license, and then all sorts of special rules apply. And
absolutely.
You need a professional driver in that case.
Absolutely. So I rent a driver and a minibus up to... I don't like big groups
Mm-mm.
because my service philosophy is to spoil everyone.
Tell us more about that. We want to hear about that.
So in a big bus, like a coach, like 50 guests,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this. I don't do this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 20, 25 max.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to go around everyone. How are you? How you feel? Let's meet here. This is the shop about pottery. This is a shop about food or cheese or local, whatever.
Right.
I
So
love
you
it.
you give them individual advice. If you know
Mhm.
the person is looking for pottery, you'll take them to the pottery shop.
Yes, and when we sit or before by emails, I always ask, what would you like to buy? What would you
Mm-hmm.
like to see? I
Mm-hmm.
know what they want, but
Mm-hmm.
I always listen to specific requests.
What about food? Like, do you pick a different restaurant every night? How does that work?
First of all, unlike many tour guides I meet or I know, I always have lunch with my guest
Mm-hmm.
to share more about food, about wine, and we carry on talking about local culture.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always very nice to share a lunch
Yeah.
because by lunchtime everybody is relaxed. We know each other.
Mm-hmm.
We laugh. We have good fun,
Mm-hmm.
and it's when I am more of a playmate,
Right.
a bit of a
Right.
clown.
You're a bit of a clown, huh?
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
And okay, I advise them on the menu. I translate everything.
Mm-hmm.
Advice on the wine if they want wine, and most people do.
Mm-hmm.
Me as well. Only one glass, but still,
Still.
still. And yeah, we share a lot.
That's great.
So lunch is the convivial part of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
after lunch, everybody is so relaxed.
Right, right.
And then they don't listen to me anymore, especially about boring history,
Yeah. Well, do you talk about history a lot, or do you?
especially in the morning.
Okay, so in the morning you'll tell them about history.
Yes, when the brain is fresh.
Yeah.
After a huge breakfast on a boat, for example.
Yes. Yes.
But Annie, I've noticed through so many years that talking too much about history can be boring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless they ask questions, unless I can see they have the feeling of history,
Yeah.
which is pretty rare. That would be more German people, for example.
Oh, Germans have more historical
Oh,
questions.
yes. American people are more relaxed.
Well, they probably just want to enjoy the day.
Absolutely. And this is my philosophy, Annie. For
Yeah.
me, a tour is not a class, is not a lesson.
Yeah.
I want them to live the experience.
Right. Have a good time. Have some good memories.
Yes, I'm here if you have any questions.
Right.
Uh, I don't have a chip in my brain, but I know a lot,
Uh-huh.
and that's usually enough. But
Uh-huh.
live the experience.
Right.
Let's
Right.
go to see this guy who I know who makes olive tree objects. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
wow, that's unusual.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things they can't find by themselves.
Right. Right. Right.
So let's make it unique for a day, for a
Mm-hmm.
weekend, for a week, and have fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just relax, pleasure, having fun, and
So another
Provence
question I
is
had
good for
for
that.
you was how strenuous are those tours? I know that sometimes some of the vacationers are a little bit older, or maybe they're not
Mhm.
able to walk a
So,
ton or
yeah,
whatever.
that's a very good question. Basically, when I stop somewhere, we walk
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's the best way to explore a place.
Mm-hmm.
So, some people can't walk,
Right.
and I don't know before. Maybe
Right.
they don't dare tell me, or they think they can. And for example, when we stop in Aix-en-Provence,
Mm-hmm.
the car park to the old city, it's a walk.
Mm-hmm.
And then we explore the old city, the street market, etc. And
Mm-hmm.
some people can't walk.
Right.
So it can be a problem
Mm-hmm.
because it slows down the rest of the group.
Right.
If it's a couple, okay, I adapt.
Right.
You
They're
know?
used to it anyway.
Yeah, but if it's 5, 6, 7 people, and if they don't know each other,
Right.
uh, could be a
Yeah.
little problem.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
walking. I'm talking about the legs.
Yeah.
It's not a mountain hike. It's not 20,000 feet, but still
Right.
it could be a problem. And some of the villages I go, it could be steep
Mm-hmm.
with
Mm-hmm.
stairs.
And cobblestone and whatever.
Absolutely, yeah.
So maybe it's good advice to tell people if you are, if you have limitations where you can walk but in short stretches, or only if it's, even and easy, and just tell the guide,
Absolutely, absolutely.
because the guy
Like,
wants to keep you comfortable and doesn't want you to be hating it, because at the end of the day you're exhausted or your feet hurt so much or whatever.
true, and you enjoy less.
Right, right.
Like last week, an American couple hired me, and they told me, or she told me, my mother-in-law will be with us.
Right.
She's late 80s or something.
Uh-huh.
So I planned the
Right.
tour according to them,
Right. Right.
following, okay? So no steep street, pebblestone, stairs.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, it's better if I know before.
Right.
I'm
You
not a
can.
fan, fair enough. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
I adapt 100%,
Right.
110.
Right. Take
Um,
advantage of the custom kind of side of the tour, and tell your guide, whether it's Jean-Francois or any other guide. It's best to tell them if you have limitations.
yeah,
Like.
please dare.
Yeah. 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 Be
We
open
are
about it.
we are here for you
Hmm.
and to provide the best service.
Yeah. Yeah.
So please tell me, tell them.
Yeah.
Um,
So when you so are we ready to move on to the lavender fields? Because I want to talk about those. They're so beautiful.
yes,
Yes.
of
Okay.
course,
So
of course.
so when can you see the lavender fields? Uh,
It's very short.
yeah.
It's very short. The lavender starts to bloom early June.
Right.
So to see full bloom lavender fields, I would go from mid-June, end of July.
Right.
The top week would be the first 2 weeks in July.
Okay.
That's where you will see the dream lavender fields, like you see on postcards, like you see on TV.
Right.
The smell,
Uh-huh.
it's a paradise of colors
Right.
and perfume.
Right.
But from end of June to before they harvest, they harvest end of July.
Now I don't know what it's like in Provence, but at my house in Toulouse, my I have a big lavender bush, and just the one though. but but it's huge, and it's always, I mean, it's not evergreen, but it's always there. It's just so you can see something. What I'm saying is they don't get cut down all the way down because it's off season. It's just that they won't be in bloom.
Okay, so that's maybe home lavender.
Oh, okay.
Most
Is it?
people in Provence in their garden, they would have one bush, two bush,
Yeah.
maybe 2 or 3 plants,
Right.
and they don't care about winter.
Right.
It will bloom again.
Right.
In Provence, it's a business.
Sure.
So they work in the fields.
Ah.
So they cut the stems.
Okay.
It's a
So they
professional work. It's
so they
not like
cut.
in your garden.
Okay. So they cut them down every year at the end of the season.
Oh yes.
Because oh, of course, I'm an idiot. Of course they do, because they harvest it.
Yes, yes. It's like vine.
Right. Sorry.
In the vineyards, we'll talk about wine later, maybe. In the vineyards in Provence, let's say November, December,
Right.
you see the man working in the fields,
Right.
in the vineyards,
Yes.
cutting the plants, and it's a very precise work.
Yeah.
It's like jewelry.
Yes. You have to know what you're doing.
So Provence is very well known for lavender.
Yeah.
And the lavender you see in the fields is not the real lavender. Yeah, we have two types of lavender.
Okay.
The best one, the lavande fine, the fine lavender, grows above 800 meters.
Oh, I see.
That's the pure, the real lavande.
Okay.
And
So,
this, you can see with your eyes, it's one flower only for each stem.
okay. And is it a shorter bush?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, it's quite small.
Yes.
So when I take my guest to the lavender fields, I know some places where it's the real one, the fine lavender.
Uh-huh.
And this lavender has got lots of virtues. Virtues, you say? Okay, virtues.
Yeah.
Like the Romans already used lavender in medicine.
Oh, did they?
And when we talk about the Romans, it's more than 2,000 years ago.
Yes.
And olives we'll see later. So this fine lavender is used in medicine. Also for perfume. A bit, well, I would say less and less, but
yeah.
it was used by the best perfume makers.
Yes.
And eau de cologne, for example.
Yes.
With lavender flavor. That's
yes.
very common.
Right. That's your in the 70s people wore cologne with lavender flavor to it. It was much more prevalent than it is now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's pretty interesting to know that to make 1 liter of pure essence of lavender, we need how many kilos? What do you think?
I don't know. You probably need a lot. How about
lot.
50?
Oh, come on, go ahead.
More?
130 kilos.
130. Wow, that's a lot.
Of flowers.
Just the flowers, not the stems.
No, just the flowers.
Oh, wow.
So the top of the stem to make 1 liter of pure essence.
But the essence must be super strong. I mean, it must not. You don't use it like that very much.
No.
Right.
So for our listeners, 130 kilos, that's about 260 pounds, more or less.
Yeah, that's it.
More or less.
And that's a lot of flowers.
So it is a business. People, local farmers make a living out of it. So now, how can you use this fine lavender? Lots of things. For example, insomnia. Well, if it's hard for you to sleep or to fall asleep,
sure,
you would, with the pure essence, it's a little bottle, you would drop, let's say, 2 or 3 drops on your pillow, and it helps you to sleep.
Does it?
Yes.
Wow. Because
lavender helps you to relax.
I didn't realize that. Very good.
It's great for stress. Like if you're hyper stressed, like most Americans, bang, bang, bang all the time, working 70 hours a week. Oh my God. You have a bath with few drops of lavender. Yeah. And then...
That's true. That would be very nice.
You cool down.
Yeah. You relax and you enjoy the moment. That's great.
Absolutely. And the Romans knew that. You know, the Romans invented spa, as you know.
Sure.
Spa everywhere. And with lavender drops, it helps to relax.
Very good.
Headaches. Headaches as well. It also cures burning. If you burn your skin, when you cook, for example.
Yeah.
Okay, you put few drops on on piece of cotton.
Yeah.
And you put it on the burn.
Oh, wow.
Sunburn as well. Very good for sunburn. Sore throat.
So you just drink it?
No. Oh. No. It's too strong. Sore throat, or if you have a cold, you would get a piece of sugar. 2 or 3 drops.
Yeah.
And you eat it.
Oh, wow.
or rheumatism, or after sport.
Who knew we were dealing with a doctor here? This is great.
So that's lavender, lots of virtues.
Wow, that's great.
And of course, perfume, to perfume your
Of
home.
course, of course.
You burn lavender oil on those
Mm-hmm.
little burner with a candle below,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a great perfume, and
Yeah.
you will feel some kind of relaxing atmosphere at home.
Yeah, I think people put the lavender packets in their closets and
So that's the second type of lavender.
Aha.
So let's say I'm finished with the fine lavender above
Mm-hmm.
800 meters.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is the lavandin,
Mm-hmm.
DIN at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So that's below 800
Okay.
meters, between 0 and 800 meters. So in most gardens you would see in south of France,
That's what we have.
that's the one. Lavandin.
Yes.
So no medicine virtues.
Oh, okay.
And for example, it takes only 40 kilos of flowers for liter.
Okay.
So it's much less, I would say, prestigious.
Okay.
And those little lavender bags you mentioned before,
Mm-hmm.
that's what they put in it.
Okay. They smell great. I mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the perfume is a bit stronger.
It has a stronger flavor.
Yes.
Or smell, or with a scent.
So that's what you would see in souvenir shops. Those little bags.
Uh-huh.
Or a bunch of flowers you can bring home.
Mm-hmm.
It lasts for 2 or 3 months.
Right.
And
yeah,
you will have a nice smell at home. So that's the lavandin.
Lavender. Very good. Well, I didn't know the difference, even though I have seen both plants, but I never thought about it.
And they use the lavandin for home products, to clean the house.
Right.
Detergent, you said detergent?
Yes.
Okay, so it's just to put a flavor in a washing powder or detergent to wash the floor.
Right.
You see that everywhere in France. Lavender perfume.
Yes.
Lavender flavor.
Yes.
Okay, that's the lavender.
That's what it is, lavender.
That's
Very good.
lavender.
Very good.
And what else they make? Soap, of course.
Sure, of course.
Lavender soap, very good smell.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it basically. Okay. Oh no, honey.
Ah, yes.
Lavender honey.
So they don't with the honey. They don't put lavender in the honey. It's just that the bees are kept near lavender fields.
Yes.
And since that's what they eat, that's what the honey tastes like.
Because I don't know the verb in English, the butiner.
Yeah, I don't know that verb either.
With their sting, they
yes,
work
it's
on
the
lavender.
action of butiner is the action of going from flower to flower.
Absolutely. So, and then the local farmers make 100% lavender honey.
Right.
Because the bees always work on the lavender flowers.
Right.
And the taste of the honey is very different.
That's right. That's right. It's and you in the same way you can get honeys with, I don't know, chestnut flower or some other, walnut flower. Yeah. And it's just where the bees I think you say forage, where the bees forage.
Okay.
I just looked it up. Very interesting. Yeah, the honeybees are foraging. So yeah, it would be where the bees go forage. If it's lavender, you'll have lavender flavored honey.
Absolutely. And I've already seen lavender ice cream.
Yes.
But anyway, it's just Provence.
Yeah, not my favorite, but...
No, me neither. Me neither. And around lavender, when we are there, shall we talk about geography a little bit to help our listeners to picture where it is?
Sure.
So the lavender area is Luberon.
Right.
And Luberon goes from, I will spell the names maybe of the cities so our listeners can look for it.
Yeah.
East of Luberon is Manosque.
Yes.
Manosque.
Mm-hmm.
Middle of Luberon is Apt. Apt.
Mm-hmm.
West is Cavaillon.
Yep.
Cavaillon, famous for the melons.
Yep.
South,
Delicious.
yes. South is Pertuis.
Hmm.
Pertuis.
Mm-hmm.
And north is Sault. Sault.
Okay.
And that's where I go. I give a secret today. That's the first and last one.
So you go to Sceaux.
Sault, Sault, where we have the lavande, the fine lavande,
Very good.
with amazing views. And on a clear day up there, we can see the Mont Ventoux,
Oh, very nice.
the highest peak in Provence. It's 1900 meters.
Very nice.
Famous with the Tour de France.
Right. Right.
So that's geographically the Luberon.
Mm-hmm. Lovely place. And this is also the place where you were talking about the English colonies.
Oh, yes. So why Luberon is so famous?
It's because of the book.
Absolutely.
Right. A year in Provence.
Because of this Englishman,
Mm-hmm.
Peter Mayer, who decided one day to settle down in Provence.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just a journalist and wanted to enjoy the south of France.
Yeah.
And he started to take notes about his new life.
Mm-hmm.
The local baker, the local plumber, the neighbors, how slow we are in Provence. It's a different style of living, etc.
Yep.
And if I may say, unfortunately, he decided to print this book. And it became, he sold 3 millions.
Oh yeah, I even read it. I have, yeah.
I started to read it and I threw it away.
Oh, why?
Because I was annoyed. Because being okay, let's be a bit chauvinistic here.
Yeah.
I would have preferred those hidden places remained a secret.
Right, right. Well, yeah, that's the problem is when you have such a popular book, everybody wants to go there and everybody wants to do the same thing. And
Absolutely. And
yeah.
he wrote more.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He wrote more.
Yes.
So this area, Luberon, and especially Ménherbe,
Mm-hmm.
where he bought a house
Mm-hmm.
and where he spent, I don't know, many years,
Mm-hmm.
became invaded. Local people couldn't believe their eyes.
Yeah.
So on one side, it was excellent for business.
Sure.
Real estate, local shops. But when you have someone knocking at your doors or shutters and asking you a question about the book and taking pictures,
yeah, it can be annoying.
It's like a Martian invading the planet. English, Americans, Japanese, Germans,
right.
It was translated in I don't know how many languages.
Yes. and that's another reason why having a tour guide is really good, is because you can get the local flavor without being obnoxious. You don't need to go knocking on people's shutters or doors or whatever to ask them questions. You can just ask the local tour guide.
Absolutely. And if you want to see the locals, let's go and sit at the cafe.
Yeah, the places. You don't need to go disturb them.
Let's
in their
have
homes.
a drink and watch.
Yeah, yeah.
And Provence is an open air museum by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of my aims in my tours is for my guests to watch this show.
Yeah.
Everywhere, streets, villages, local cafe, street markets.
Yes.
The shops, and just enjoy this.
Yes, yes, yes.
If they want to go to a museum, okay, we go to a museum.
Sure.
But Provence is really the place for a constant museum.
Right. So, do you also have sunflower field in
Yes.
Provence?
Oh, yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And same time, but longer. The
Sure.
sunflowers, it's all summer.
Right. So this year in the Toulouse area, they planted the sunflowers like 2 weeks later because we had a really wet
Uh-huh.
spring.
Uh-huh.
So they planted the sunflowers later. So you didn't see any sunflowers until late July in bloom. You know, I mean, of course they were growing, but they didn't bloom until later. So it must depend on,
It does depend on the rain.
yeah, on the rain and the weather. You know,
Yeah,
they don't always plant exactly at the
yeah,
same
absolutely.
time.
But
Yeah,
again, it's a business as well. They make
sure.
sunflower oil
You're right.
for cooking.
Yeah.
So they would water the fields
Mhm.
if it doesn't rain enough.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
Provence is also the place for sunflower fields, but not only the whole south.
Right. Right. Yeah. The whole south of France has it.
Oh yes, even the Drôme and before Lyon,
Yeah.
you can see sunflowers.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you come, you know, starting mid-July, you're probably gonna get both the lavender fields and sunflower fields.
And the best, I would say the climax of a tour would be to have next to each other sunflowers and lavender.
That would be lovely. Do you know places like that?
Yes.
Oh.
Shh, shh,
Yes. Yes.
shh.
Well, see.
I'll send you pictures.
That's very nice. That sounds really nice. Yeah, it's very fun. And again, you need the locals, you know, you need a local tour guide to take you to places like that because what are the chances you're going to find it by yourself if you only spend a few days in Provence?
But I don't guarantee 100%.
Well, sure, sure,
It's
sure.
nature,
Sure.
and
And if
nature
that
is always stronger than we are.
and maybe next year the farmer will decide to plant something else. You never know.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like there is a magnificent lavender field in Senanque Abbey
Right.
in
That one's
In Gord.
famous.
It's so famous.
Yeah.
Everybody saw the famous picture with Senanque and lavender.
Right. I'll put it on the website. It's beautiful. That's a cliche.
It is, but
But that's the lavandin, right?
it is lavender.
Yeah, yeah,
It's below 800.
yeah.
And one year I went there with a tour with
Mhm.
guests, and they had planted wheat. The monks, because it's a living monastery, as we say, with monks.
Yeah. And
There are about 10 monks living there permanent.
yeah,
So they had decided to change.
they wanted wheat and not
So
lavender.
I have pictures of Senanque with wheat and not lavender. See?
Wow. They live in a different world. They don't know that this is the iconic photo that
Yeah,
everybody wants, right?
they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care, yeah.
They don't eat lavender, they eat wheat.
Very good point. Very good point. So
So
the other part, so this is all the lavender. Now you also take people to hidden villages. I want to hear about that now.
may I add something about lavender
Oh,
tour,
sure, sure.
please? The best would be to go for a weekend, 2 days.
Okay.
Because I would take the people from Marseille or Aix or Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So if I take people from the French Riviera, we drive through the mountains and we arrive at a place where you've got endless lavender fields
Mm-hmm.
and not many tourists.
Mm-hmm. But can you do that if you're like on a cruise ship stop? It's hard,
No,
huh?
no.
Yeah, yeah.
It's too short. I don't want
Too
them
short.
to miss the boat.
Yeah, yeah.
It's too short.
Mm-hmm.
And then we cross the Durance River
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and we go and stay in a B&B
Mm-hmm.
among the lavender fields.
Very nice.
I can give the name in Simiane.
Mm-hmm.
And we are friends now, and it's a 3-bedroom small B&B with a pool and a barbecue and a bar, and it's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
And the owner of this B&B used to be the head sommelier at Maxim's
Oh, very nice.
in Paris. So he knows what he's talking about.
Some very nice wines there, I bet.
Oh, yes. And he makes his own fruit wine,
Oh,
like,
wow.
like orange wine, grapefruit wine, walnut wine, lemon wine.
Wow, that's really unusual. I've never had any of those.
And that's what he serves for the aperitif before we have dinner or lunch.
Sure, why not? That sounds lovely.
So I wanted to mention that because it's pretty unique
Yeah.
with Bruno and Isabelle
Yeah.
in their B&B.
Very nice. Very nice.
So that's all I wanted to add
To the Lavender tour.
to the Lavender tour.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, let's go move on to the hidden villages.
So hidden villages, hidden. So why hidden? Everywhere on the French Riviera and Provence, you would find, or not, those remote little, it's almost hamlets.
Right.
Hidden because it's hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
It's always narrow, how do you say, switchback roads.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are a tourist, first of all, you need a car.
Right.
And driving in France is another story.
Yes. Not comfortable for a lot of Americans.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's why it's, kind of hidden because it's far away from the coastline. Very few tourists go there.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's French tourists.
Right.
Want to get away from the crowd of
Right.
Nice, Cannes, Monaco.
Because those places get so crowded in the summer. I mean, they're beautiful, they're wonderful, but it's like, oh, lots of people.
Yes. And
right. So if you know some remote villages where you're not going to be messing with hundreds of people all the time, that would be better.
Never. Even the peak season, July and August. And this is one of my trademarks, off the beaten track.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I wish I could only do those type of tours.
Right. But yeah.
Off the beaten track. But I have to adapt, and many people, they want to go to Monaco or Cannes or Nice. Okay, fair enough.
Right.
Especially for one day. But more and more people, they want to experience something different.
That's good.
It's like going in a small town in Vermont or Montana,
right,
away from Miami or New York or LA.
Right. You want to see something real, I guess you could call it.
Absolutely, and it is real when we stop in one of those restaurants under a big tree outside on a terrace.
Mm-hmm.
Service is different.
Mm-hmm.
People smile, people say hi.
And because they're actually happy to see you. They see, maybe a dozen tourists in a day. So they're happy to see them. If you see 12,000 tourists in a day, you're not so happy to see them after a while.
Absolutely.
That's just human nature,
And they're all photography paradise.
Right.
I'm a photographer. I love photography.
Uh-huh.
I have a new tour for photographers.
What? Oh, you have a tour just for photographers. Wow.
Yes. And it's, again, an open-air museum.
Yeah.
Lots of history.
And the light in Provence is absolutely fabulous. I mean,
Let's say to our listeners that Provence gets 300 days of sun a year.
Right.
And the Luberon I mentioned before, the Lavender, it's one of the clearest sky in France.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when the Mistral blows.
Sure.
The sky is navy blue.
Oh, wow.
Especially in winter, but unfortunately, people never come in winter, which is a shame. Anyway. But
you think people should come to Provence in the winter?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, on a clear day with Mistral, like 3 days ago. Mm-hmm. Oh, the light is just unbelievable.
Well, that would be a good tip to give people. If you can get away in the off season,
come.
Yeah.
Come off season.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend October.
Mm-hmm.
But January,
October. Yeah.
January, February. Like 3 days ago, we had Mistral.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's cold, of course.
Right.
Many people think we don't have a winter. We do.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, I drove to Cannes on my car. It was 7:30. It was zero
Mm-hmm.
Celsius.
Yeah, yeah.
Zero
Celsius, yeah.
Celsius.
So that's 33 Fahrenheit.
Yes. So it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole Provence is yours.
Right, right.
So those hidden villages, a typical tour, we would leave from Vence
Mm-hmm.
and then drive up the hills to 2 or 3 of those villages.
Mm-hmm.
And we walk around the village. We sit down, have a coffee or a glass of rosé wine and lunch. And we just enjoy those
Yeah.
old
Yeah.
stones. Even the shutters are beautiful. The,
That's
do-
true.
the doors are beautiful. The old
Mm-hmm.
handles, flowers. And
Mm-hmm.
at the corner, you would meet an 80-year-old guy, grandpa, walking with his stick and say hi. And
Mm-hmm.
we might sit with him and he will tell us about the village.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. And they love talking to people. Because a lot of these older people, they got time. They got nothing to do.
True.
So they'll talk to you. Well, especially if you speak French. I mean, occasionally you'll run into one who speaks perfect English, but that's a little bit more rare, I would
Yeah, it
suppose.
doesn't matter. I translate.
Yeah, you speak French.
Like there is a village above Monaco
Mm-hmm.
where I know a very old guy. He's 82, and he works with olive wood
Mm-hmm.
only.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he makes trays, plates, or
Yeah.
whatever for home,
Mm-hmm.
and he always tells about history.
Yeah.
Oh, when I was young, it was this and that. And in this village, there is an olive tree, and it is, I think, 250 years old.
Wow.
So this guy
That's cool.
he's a museum as well.
Yeah, olive trees are a big deal in France. We have an olive tree near where I live that's over 1,000 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And it's protected, obviously, and it's just beautiful. And people go there, just there's all sorts of little superstitions around the
Ah,
olive tree. So there are times in your life where you would go and touch the olive tree and make a wish or something like that. So it's those are a big deal, and Provence is full of them. Young ones, old ones, all sorts of olive trees.
I think the olive is probably the most famous symbol of Provence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And superstition is big in Provence
Mm-hmm.
as well, but that's back to Middle Ages.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
those small hamlets, I would say they get 300, 400 inhabitants living there permanent.
Right.
So it's quiet.
Yeah. It's quiet and peaceful, and you can walk around and take pictures, and if you have a guide with you, and the guide can take you to all the places that you want to see, which is
And
really.
the views are just gorgeous.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's what I like to do
Mhm.
with my guests if they want to.
Yeah. Sounds
However,
really.
most
Yeah.
of them they want to stay on the coastline.
Right. Right.
It's a magnet. Monte Carlo is a magnet. Saint-Tropez is a magnet. Cannes is a magnet. Okay,
Wow.
I understand. I understand. Especially if it's their first time in France,
Right.
they want to
Right.
see what's famous.
If it's your first time, yeah, do see these places, but then get away from them, because I mean, it's going to be the same thing next time. It's um, Nice, I find not that interesting personally, but I've been there many times. And I'm like,
I agree.
whatever.
I agree.
Cannes is the same thing. I mean, it's fine, but uh, yeah, it doesn't have very much charm. Um,
Absolutely.
if you go during the festival, you might,
No, never.
well, I did for work once, and
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
you do see celebrities, but
oh.
who cares? You know, like,
Yeah, anyway, it's so crowded
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
the stairs with the red carpet in Cannes, it's so crowded with photographers
yeah.
and TV. And, some people, they put a ladder with a chain and they lock the ladder. So they are sure that when the stars arrive,
They
like, I
can
don't
take
know,
the picture.
8 p.m., they are on the ladder at 4 p.m.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then
No, it's crazy. It's
and then
crazy.
what? Oh, I saw Brad Pitt's nose. Oh, great.
Good for you.
So what? Oh, wow. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh. Oh
yeah.
my
This,
gosh.
it's a very French thing. I mean, we as French natives, we would much rather, go enjoy a nice meal, a nice glass of wine, maybe go for a swim. I don't know, maybe go
But,
for a hike.
but anyway, far away from the film festival in Cannes.
Yeah, yeah.
It's 12 days in May.
Yeah, yeah. The only time I went was for work, and it was fine. But I didn't particularly want to go back.
No, Cannes. Go to Cannes in October.
Yeah.
I take you to the Cannes Islands and visit the fort where
Mhm.
the Iron Mask was kept, for
Oh,
example.
that's cool. Yeah.
And it's a little cruise, and we have a picnic on the beach, and but never go to Cannes unless you have to.
See this. Just listen to this man. He tells you the truth. No, it's true. And so my next question was going to be, what's overdone in Provence, and maybe that's the answer that we've been talking about
Mhm.
that. Um,
I would say, Annie, that nothing in Provence, I mean, the real Provence I mentioned before, geography, is overdone
uh-huh.
because everything is so interesting. But most people would go to Aix-en-Provence, Arles, Pont du Gard,
Mhm.
the Roman bridge,
Which is
Avignon.
nice. Which is
Yes,
nice.
and it's a must.
Yeah. If you've never been, you got to see this. It's
Of
amazing.
course, it's the only three-level bridge in the world,
Mhm.
and
From Roman times.
from Roman times, and it's
Yeah.
very impressive.
Yeah.
And Cassis, you take the boat to the Calanque.
Yeah.
It is crowded,
Yeah.
but I would go rather the French Riviera overdone things.
Yeah.
Monte Carlo, Nice, Cannes, Aise.
Yeah. Those are overdone in
Oh,
your
that's
opinion.
overdone.
Yeah.
Aise, which is a very nice village off season, it's so crowded in the summer. I can't even park.
Yeah.
So I have to drop my guests and they have to walk, and it's steep, and some people can't walk.
Yeah.
So this is overdone.
So it would not be a good idea.
No.
You would probably advise people to go do something else instead.
Yes, leave it to me. We skip Aise and we go to La Turbie, for example.
Mm.
Much less crowded and
Mhm.
as beautiful and breathtaking views.
Mhm. Mhm. Good.
Let's go off the beaten track.
That's great.
If you want to
That's
be
great.
stuck with 10 or 20 coaches full of Japanese, Americans, Germans, okay, go. But this is not my style.
But you'd rather take people elsewhere.
True.
That's very good. That's very good.
True.
So we've been talking a long time. We're gonna have to finish this up. But you have
Yes,
to tell me
I can
about your.
talk forever.
I know, me too. You have to tell us about your favorite uh, food in the area. Something that people must try that you think is really nice.
It's always quite risky to talk about food because different people, different tastes.
That's true.
But I'm going to answer your question very precisely, Annie.
Yep.
My favorite dish, not always only in Provence, but ever, is the aioli.
Aioli, yes.
Aioli comes from ai, it means garlic.
Yes.
It's an olive oil mayonnaise,
Mhm.
homemade, of course,
Yep.
with crushed garlic.
Yes. It's very pungent.
Has to be. And garlic is good for your blood.
Yeah, garlic is good for all sorts of things, but not your breath.
True, but of course you don't go to a disco after this.
Mhm.
Hi, honey, would you like to dance with me? No.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah. No, but it's true. It's a local dish that's very nice, and you
So
can eat it with Well,
Cod.
like with a steamed fish or with.
Yeah, usually we eat it with cod, the
Mhm. Mhm.
morue,
Mhm.
not salted. And so we buy the cod 2 days before, and
Mhm.
we leave it in fresh water.
Mhm.
So it's desalé, not
Yeah,
salted,
you want desalted.
desalted,
Yeah.
and with this garlic mayonnaise, only with olive oil
Mhm.
and boiled veg.
Mhm. Mhm.
Zucchinis, potatoes, carrots,
Mhm.
leeks. So
Yep.
that's my favorite dish to do,
Mhm.
to make and to eat.
That's fantastic. That's
Aioli,
fantastic.
aioli.
Aioli. I'll
Uh,
try and put a recipe on the. If you know how to make a mayonnaise from scratch, you can make aioli from scratch. It's exactly the same. You just change the ingredients a little bit.
yes, and when your mayonnaise is, let's say, half done,
Mhm.
you add the garlic
Mhm.
and you carry on stirring
Mhm.
slowly until you get the amount you want.
That's right.
So let's say for four or five people, yeah, two. Okay, we'll talk about this later. It's the yolk of the
The
egg,
yolk. Yep.
the yolk,
Mhm.
and mustard
Mhm.
and olive oil, and you stir slowly. You can have for 10 for up to you.
Yep. Yep. It's really good. It's really good.
And the
What
second,
about?
oh
Go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, my second choice would be the bouillabaisse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bouillabaisse is a specialty from Marseille, and it has about 10 different type of fish
Mhm.
and the soup
Mhm.
and the rouille. The rouille is a saffron garlic mayonnaise
Mhm.
on the crouton, on the soup. And
Mhm.
because I love fish, I would go for the bouillabaisse.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really delicious.
But they are much more.
Yeah. It's pretty expensive, but it's very good.
Yes,
It's
it
very
is
good.
expensive. And before it was the dish of the poor people,
Really? Well, that's
because
changed.
it was the leftover
Uh-huh.
from the fisherman.
Uh-huh.
And the fisherman, after he sold all the fish, that's what he had left.
Mm.
And he boiled, we boiled the fish.
Mhm.
Bouillir,
Yeah,
boil.
it's to boil. Yeah.
And baisse is low fire. So that's the
Oh,
etymology of the bouillabaisse.
I never thought of that.
Bouillir, boil. And baisse is low fire,
So you boil it on low fire.
yes, for hours.
Mhm. You're making me hungry.
And with
And of course the wine in Provence, I mean the
oh,
one that everybody knows. I mean there's all sorts of wine, but the one that everybody knows is the rosé wine for the summer. A lot of the production of rosé wine in France comes from Provence and it's delicious.
what summer? I drink rosé wine all year long.
Oh, but that's because you live in Provence. I mean,
And I was born in the area where we make the best rosé in France.
oh, which
It's
one is
true.
that?
It's true. The Côte de Provence.
Côte de Provence. Oh yeah, yeah.
So
No, it's
all around Toulon,
yeah.
Cuers, Pierrefeu, Saint-Tropez, etc., etc., is the best rosé wine in in France.
Excellent, excellent.
So
Okay, so we have to wrap this up, but you have to tell everybody how they can get a hold of you. We gave the name of your company earlier. It's Provence Prestige Tours, right?
no, France
Oh,
Prestige Tours,
France Prestige Tours. Very
but
good.
the website is called three W's dot Provence sightseeing.fr.
Okay, Provence Sightseeing .fr. I'll put a link to that on the website. Do you want to share an email address? Do you have an easy email address or a Facebook page or something that people can look into?
Yes, so the email address is France Prestige Tours with an S at me.com. Me,
Me.com. Okay.
yeah, it's an Apple email address.
I see. Okay. Okay, so France Prestige Tours, no dashes or anything.
No, all
Okay.
together
Okay. Okay.
at me.com. And on the website, everybody will find all the tours.
Yep.
All the pictures are mine.
Okay, very good. Yeah, and you've given me some of your pictures, so I'll put them on my website too. And this is going to be episode 54. So if you go to joinusinfrance.com/54, you'll find all of that good stuff.
Great.
Jean-François, it
Great.
has been a delight talking to you.
Same for me.
It's been wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing all that good stuff with us. I hope lots of visitors take advantage of your services because it sounds fabulous. Okay, so I was saying next time I'm in Provence, I might just have to go on one of your photography tours because I love photography, although I mostly do sports photography. But
Oh,
yeah, I do basketball photography. It's
wow.
one of my hobbies. But I would, if you can take a picture of a moving basketball player, you can surely take a picture of something that's standing still, right?
No problem. That would be easy.
So
That would be easy. Annie, it will be a pleasure. Anytime,
very good.
give me a call, and we'd go and explore hidden gems.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you very much, Jean-François, and who knows, we might have to have you back on the show to talk about some of the other things that you love, where you love to take people to.
Yes, next time we'll talk about cooking,
Excellent.
which is the main topic in France.
Merci beaucoup et au revoir.
Merci. Au revoir. À bientôt. Thank you so much.
This brings us to the end of another episode of the Join Us in France Travel Podcast. You can find us at joinusinfrance.com. We love to hear from listeners. Don't be shy. If you're a tour guide or travel professional in France and would like to appear on the show, write to Annie at joinusinfrance.com. And if you love this show, please support it. Go to joinusinfrance.com/support for details. Thank you. Au revoir.